Welcome to the Hyperpolyglot Activist. Learn languages, make a difference. My name is Dr. Carlos Yebra Lopez, and today I'm here to explain to you how to obtain an assistant professorship in the tenured track. At the moment of recording this video, I'm working as an assistant professor at California State University. How did I get here? I draw from a wealth of experience. I graduated from NYU, got my PhD in April 2020. I know what you're thinking. Isn't then when the whole COVID went up in flames and the entire job market collapsed for the following 2 years? Yes, it is. So what's your excuse? During that 4-year period, I sent 249 applications. Out of those, I got 4 requests for additional materials. For instance, we need to see your research statement, your teaching statement, etc. Then I had 17 first round interviews, typically over Zoom, 7 campus interviews, and 11 job offers. Some of them I turned down, others I accepted, but they were postdoc offers. And in the end, as I said, thanks to application number 239, I managed to secure a job as an assistant professor. So this lets you know that you should be ready for a long, protracted process with tons of failure along the way and some modicum of light at the end of the tunnel. Because in reality, my first, second, and third year were really hard, particularly because the first 2 were under the pandemic, which means a lot of job offers got canceled or did not exist to begin with. And then the last year, the 4th year, was very productive and very positive. Almost every interview that I did, I passed and turned into a campus interview, so that when I got the offer, I still had 2 or 3 campus interviews to attend, which I declined to do because I was happy enough with the offer that I had, and I didn't think any of the other potential offers could be any better than the one I had already secured. Because I stayed for 4 years in the job market, I've seen the highs, the lows, and I can tell you about every single mistake that I made. You can save yourself some time and money and can make it to your final destination so much quicker. So let's break it down. First of all, you should understand that it is unlikely that you will secure a position as an assistant professor in the tenure track. This is because only 3 to 10% of PhD graduates approximately end up securing one. So the odds are very much stacked against you. This is in many ways a decaying industry with an ever shrinking amount of assistant professorships in the tenure track, which means that every year that passes, the goal of achieving that position becomes increasingly more expensive and unlikely. If you're still listening, the second thing you should know is that you should be passionate about either teaching or research, ideally both, for you not to end up regretting this career choice in the long term. Typically, an assistant professor is going to devote 1/3 of their activity to research, 1/3 to teaching, and 1/3 to administrative tasks. I presume you're not passionate about administrative tasks. Institutions are rarely balanced in that regard. There are either teaching-focused institutions where 2/3 of the workload are going to be about teaching and the remaining third divided between research and administration, or research-focused institutions where research is going to take up 2/3 of your workload and the remaining third is going to be split between teaching and administrative tasks. So if you're passionate about teaching and research, congratulations. You will have a fulfilling job at both a teaching-focused or a research-focused institution. The alternative is to be very, very passionate about either teaching or research. If you're only very passionate about teaching, you will only find a job fulfilling at a teaching-focused institution. And if you're only very passionate about research but don't like teaching as much, you will only find fulfilling a job at a research-focused institution. But there is still, in both cases, an institution that fits your profile. And if you don't have a passion for either researching or teaching, you shouldn't be watching this video. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a loser. it's just not a good fit. The reason a lot of people find their jobs miserable is that they do them because they have to, not because they want to. And the best way of making sure you actually want to do this is the passion test that I just described. And before we go any further, let me tell you that I'm fully aware that everybody is different and unique. So if you're actually serious about obtaining your assistant professorship this year, book a one-on-one consultation with me, where I'll give you access to the specific institutions and positions I applied for and the documents that got me interviews, as well as the ways in which I handle objections during those interviews and conducted my campus visit to secure the best terms in my negotiation for my assistant professorship. I will also have a look at your specific situation. Where is it best to apply for you? What kind of positions are in your best interest? And we will craft together your CV and your cover letter, which are the most important documents, as well as your research statement, teaching statement, diversity statement, and anything else you need. I will also love to coach you for your interviews, help you negotiate your best terms for the offer. And this is one of the best investments you can make in your future, as it will pay for itself already within the first monthly payment as a brand new assistant professor. Book a consultation by clicking on the link below in the description box, and we'll see you on the other side. The third point is that, as I said before, the university is a decaying industry where the advancement of knowledge and the sharing of ideas is just one very small component in a very complex matrix of circumstances and colleagues and students and co-workers, etc. So if you decide that this is your career choice, you have to be ready for incompetent administration, delayed and low payments, unruly students, and cooperative colleagues, and all at the same time. This is not a bug of a specific institution. This is a feature. Regardless of how good your institution is, you're going to encounter one or more of the above. So if you go there with the expectation that none of them are going to take place, you're going to be very frustrated and eventually you will give up. The next point is that you should take the next 24 hours to reflect on options which you have outside of academia, and then compare them to what you imagine your future looks like in academia. Take the time to consider whether your talents and characteristics are better served in the industry. Maybe you want to create your own business. These are some of the options that are available to you. So don't rush into embracing academia just because. Just because you have a PhD, it doesn't mean that academia is your best fit. Take your time, do a little bit of research and exploration. Even if your decision is to still apply for an assistant professorship, do create a document where you specifically state what alternatives are there out there and how would you pursue them in case you fail to secure an assistant professorship, which, as I said, is a likely outcome. And only after considering every other potential option can you come back to reconsidering your career choice in academia from a realistic and pragmatic perspective. And last but not least, give yourself a timeline. The best way not to get discouraged after the amount of rejections you are likely to experience in the job market is to have a clear deadline by which you will no longer consider an assistant professorship a viable career option. I would say that 3 years is a generous estimate. Provided you have enough money and time to keep applying consistently for 3 years, I think this is a very reasonable timeline. If after 3 years you haven't secured any offer, including postdocs, lecturerships, assistant professorships, etc., then I think it's fair to say that this is not for you. I don't really care at this point what the reasons might be. It might be health issues, it might be job market conditions, political situation. The result is still the same. Move on. It's time to consider your alternatives. If you're still here, it means we can now begin the process of understanding what to apply for, when, where, and how.